We went to the dressing room and the players began to prepare for the game, change and stretch. When, suddenly, who comes in? Ronaldo.
Chega o Ronaldo. Ele falou assim: Zagallo, não me tira dessa.
He said to me, Zagallo, don't take this away from me. I'm fine. It happened 7 hours ago, but I'm fine now. The tests gave me the all clear. I want to play.
E eu quero jogar. Ronaldo, você sabe o que você está falando?
I said, Ronaldo, you don't know what you're saying. And he said, Zagallo, I'm not a kid. If something was wrong with me, I'd tell you. And so what happened? I said, right, you're in the team. You're playing.
Você vai jogar.
French playmaker Zinedine Zidane scored twice in a comfortable 3-0 win for the hosts. Ronaldo was a far cry from the striker who tormented defences over the previous 5 years. Brazil was simply lost without his inspiration.
France beat us, and deservedly so. But I think our main concern was with Ronaldo, the man, our friend. And Brazil didn't have a 100% fit Ronaldo playing for them, so that really affected the team.
Yet Ronaldo's nightmare was only just beginning. Back at Inter, his goal-scoring remained prolific. But in November '99, he tore ligaments in his right knee, before tearing them again in April 2000. He was given only a 50% chance of playing football again.
The real Ronaldo never came back. Obviously, he was still a great player, and still so inventive, but he wasn't the same. A shame. Such a shame. Awful that he was destroyed in that way.
Ronaldo refused to give in, however. After a strict rehabilitation programme and almost 2 years out of the game, he returned to action in September 2001. But the rest of his season was hampered by injury, and few expected him to be a force for Brazil in the 2002 World Cup. Ronaldo, though, was determined to erase those painful memories from 4 years ago in Paris.
We spent at least a month training before that World Cup, and he really threw himself into it. He prepared so well, with all the exercises he did to help his knee.
Any doubts that he lacked the fitness to cope at the top level once again were immediately dispelled in Brazil's opening games, and his growing self-belief was infectious.
Imagine having a player who's always making those runs with such good movement and such ability. Then it makes your life in midfield so much easier. You know you can pass him any old ball and he'll finish it off.
His explosive pace and speed off the mark may not have been the same, but his eye for a goal and intelligence of movement remained undiminished.
When the ball was with Gilberto Silva or Kleberson or Ronaldinho, Ronaldo would make a run so that if they got the ball to him right then, he'd always be clean through on goal. I'd be shouting at the TV for them to pass him the ball.
As Brazil progressed through the tournament, Ronaldo decided to celebrate his return to form with a change of style as well.
Yeah, that's just one of his crazy little things. He told us, I'm going to get my hair cut and you'll see how cool I look. And so the next day he turns up with that hairstyle, looking like a nutter. We couldn't believe it. We were saying, are you mad? How can you leave your hair like that?
The haircut obviously made a difference. A typical Ronaldo strike was enough to see off Turkey by a single goal in the semi-final. All eyes were on Brazil's number 9 as he prepared to face Germany in the final.
I think he's a phenomenon. I think his comeback is the finest example of someone battling against the odds that I've ever seen. Ever. For this boy to do what he did, after everything he went through, is incredible.
This time the world saw the real Ronaldo. Disregarded and written off at the age of 25, he'd answered his critics in the most emphatic of ways. He scored both Brazilian goals in a 2-0 win, ending the tournament as top scorer with 8. The disappointments of the previous 4 years could now be banished to history.
And then we saw Ronaldo return from injury, score 2 goals in a World Cup final, become the top scorer in that tournament, break records. I think it was so important, a great moment of joy, not just for Ronaldo, but for Brazilian football and for those of us who played alongside him.
Crowned World Footballer of the Year for a record 3rd time, Ronaldo was hot property once again. After 5 years at Inter, he decided on a new challenge, becoming the latest Galactico at Real Madrid.
He was one of those players that Florentino Perez had always loved. But after the World Cup final, how would you get Ronaldo? Especially after he scored 2 goals against Germany. He was one of the best players in the world. But Florentino had to sign him because of the Galactico project.
Ronaldo proved himself worthy of his galactic status, coming off the bench to score twice on his debut against Alaves. For the Madrid fans, it was even more satisfying, given his history with their eternal rivals, Barcelona.
To see him in a Real Madrid shirt was twice the thrill, and obviously a huge statement.
I think Ronaldo was brilliant for Real Madrid as well. I think one of the problems that perhaps, with hindsight, you look at Ronaldo's time at Madrid and you think, well, he wasn't the player he was at Barcelona. But in some ways, he was almost better. His finishing was that little bit more sharp. Certainly when Ronaldo went one-on-one with a goalkeeper, you knew what was going to happen.
His peak had gone as such, which was sad really, because of his, I think he just had too many knee injuries, so he was excellent when I was there, so God knows what he was like when he was at Barcelona.
In 127 games for Real, Ronaldo scored 83 times. He'll perhaps be best remembered, though, at the Madrid club for his role in the destruction of Manchester United in a Champions League quarter-final at Old Trafford.
The fact that he scored a hat-trick away at Old Trafford in a huge game, I think, probably was the pinnacle of his career at Madrid. It wasn't like brilliant play from us carving the opposition open, it was down to him.
Still deadly on the pitch, Ronaldo was also gaining a reputation for his rather wayward lifestyle off it.
The biggest compliment you could give him really was that everybody loves him. Everybody's got, nice words to say. I didn't know one person who disliked him.
There was a real sense with Ronaldo that while he clearly liked to party, he very famously took the entire squad to Paris for a marriage that never was on Valentine's Day one year, and there was a real sense that kind of derailed the team. Very famously again, he had I think it was his 29th birthday party, and the press were outside his house literally watching coach loads of girls turn up and all his teammates turn up, and there was a big sort of song and dance about it, but he was scoring goals. Some players, Raul amongst them, kind of disliked his attitude towards training, but it was impossible to not like him as a man. There was a definite charm about it. And for as long as he was impossibly brilliant, it wasn't really held against him.
But his off-field antics were beginning to catch up with him. In 2006, Ronaldo played in his 4th World Cup finals. But while he was as clinical as ever in front of goal, he was out of shape and lacking in pace.
I think sometimes Ronaldo believed he didn't need to work as hard as the rest of us. He thought that maybe he could do in 2 days training what it took others to learn in 10 days, and usually he could.
His goal against Ghana in the last 16 was his 15th in all World Cups, surpassing the record held by Gerd Muller for more than 20 years. But both Brazil and Ronaldo were no longer the force of old.
I think it was overconfidence. Everyone thought it was already won. That's what the press thought in Brazil and the rest of the world. What the directors and every Brazilian thought. Because we had the magic quartet, it would simply be Brazil against the rest. And that's not how it works.
Brazil succumbed to a 1-0 defeat to France in the quarter-finals. After 97 games and 62 goals, it would be his last international appearance. Only Pelé has scored more in a Brazil shirt. Though in many quarters, Ronaldo was held to blame for Brazil's early exit.
I think the criticism he's had during his career is only normal. He's had to live with it on a daily basis because he's Ronaldo. He has to live with that commotion.
But wherever he's been, Ronaldo has always produced.
Ronaldo is only ever criticised for what he does off the pitch. No one can criticise what he does on the pitch. It's impossible to knock him for his football.
And despite the continuing goals and the achievements and accolades throughout the years, it's a testament to Ronaldo's ability that there's still a sense of what might have been.
Sometimes you watch Ronaldo and you think, Cor, if you tried, you could have been the most incredible footballer ever.
Ronaldo Luis Nazario da Lima, a striker touched with genius, truly a phenomenon.